Right now, 1.2 million Americans have no power. Zero. Nothing. And the storm that caused it, that was the weak one. The real monster has not even arrived yet. In the next few minutes, I'm going to show you exactly when this historic storm system hits your city, how bad it gets, and the one thing you absolutely must do before Sunday afternoon. But here is what nobody is telling you. This is not just one storm. This is 3 storms stacked on top of each other, hitting the United States in a sequence that weather models have not produced in over a decade for the month of March. We are talking about a severe weather outbreak with tornadoes, a blizzard dropping 2 to 3 feet of snow, and hurricane-force wind gusts exceeding 75 miles per hour, all happening within the same 48-hour window. And if you think your state is safe, keep watching, because by minute 5, I am going to walk through over 270 cities and locations so you know exactly what is heading your way and when. Now here is your first reward for sticking around. If you stay with me through the next 30 seconds, I am going to reveal which 3 states face the highest risk of a nighttime tornado, the kind you cannot see coming, the kind that hits while you are asleep. That information is coming in just a moment. But first, let me set the stage so you understand the full picture of what we are dealing with. This storm system began forming over the Pacific and it already showed its teeth. Hawaii got slammed with 8 to 10 inches of rain in some areas, triggering flood warnings across the southern islands. 134,000 homes lost power in Hawaii alone. Then a clipper system raced across the Great Lakes and the Ohio Valley, and that one single clipper knocked out power to over 1.2 million homes. Ohio alone had 352,000 homes sitting in the dark. Pennsylvania had 257,000, Michigan had nearly 120,000, West Virginia, Indiana, Wisconsin, Washington State all reporting significant outages. And that was just the opening act. Here is the twist that changes everything. The system forming right now is significantly stronger than the one that just hit. Every weather model, the NAM, the HRRR, the European model, the GFS, all of them agree on one thing. This next storm is a beast. And it is not just bringing wind, it is bringing a full-scale severe weather outbreak on Sunday, a continuation of dangerous weather into Monday, and a winter storm component on the northern side that could drop 3 feet of snow in parts of Wisconsin and Michigan. Let me say that again, 3 feet of snow. In March, that almost never happens. So let me break this down for you in 3 parts. Part 1 is the severe weather outbreak, the tornadoes, the damaging winds, the hail. Part 2 is the historic winter storm and blizzard. Part 3 is the Arctic blast and temperature crash that follows. And I promise you, if you stay through all 3 parts, you will know exactly what to expect for your city and when to expect it. Drop a comment right now telling me where you live, and I will make sure you get specific details for your area. Let us start with the severe weather outbreak, because this is where the danger is most immediate. The Storm Prediction Center has issued a Level 3 out of 5 enhanced risk for severe weather on Sunday. That enhanced risk, shown in orange on the map, stretches from Indianapolis all the way back through Illinois, Indiana, Kentucky, Tennessee, Missouri, Arkansas, Mississippi, Alabama, Louisiana, and even a small section of northeast Texas. That is a massive area. Surrounding that enhanced risk is a Level 2 slight risk that extends even further, reaching into Michigan, Ohio, and the Gulf Coast. And then there is a Level 1 marginal risk that pushes into the Carolinas and Florida. When you add all of this up, we are talking about severe weather potential stretching from the Great Lakes all the way to the Gulf of Mexico. Now here is the number that should get your attention. There is a 45% risk of damaging winds within 25 miles of any given location in the core of this system. 45%. To put that in perspective, that is nearly a coin flip, and these are not regular winds. We are talking about 60 to 80 mile per hour gusts widespread, with some areas potentially seeing hurricane-force gusts above 75 miles per hour. That is the significance level 1 hatched area on the outlook, and it covers a huge portion of this system. The tornado risk is also elevated. There is a 5% risk of a tornado within 25 miles of any given location across a large area from Indianapolis all the way down into northern Louisiana. And here is the critical detail. The intensity level 1 is flagged for tornadoes, which means any tornado that forms has the potential to be a strong one, rated EF2 or higher. We are not talking about a brief spin up and done. We are talking about tornadoes that can cause serious structural damage. Now remember I promised you the 3 states with the highest nighttime tornado risk? Here it is. Alabama, Georgia, and Tennessee. The reason is simple but terrifying. The best overlap of wind energy and moisture is going to shift into these states after midnight Sunday into early Monday morning. The NAM model shows CAPE levels, which is basically storm fuel, building to over 1,000 to 1,500 joules per kilogram across Alabama, while there is still tremendous wind energy in the atmosphere. The significant tornado parameter, which measures how favorable conditions are for tornadoes, spikes to a 2 to 3 across northern Georgia in the middle of the night. That is a high-end signal. If you live in Alabama, Georgia, or the Tennessee Valley, you need a way to receive alerts while you sleep. A weather radio, a phone app with loud alerts, something. Do not rely on hearing a siren from your bed. This is a nocturnal tornado threat, and it is very real. Now let me walk you through the timing of this severe weather outbreak hour by hour, because timing is everything when it comes to preparation. Saturday evening through overnight, heavy snow is already developing from Montana and Wyoming eastward. This is the winter storm side of the system getting going, but the atmosphere on the southern side is loading up with moisture and energy for what comes next. Sunday morning, not a lot of severe weather activity yet. The main action is heavy snowfall across Minneapolis, the Upper Peninsula of Michigan, and northern Wisconsin. Snowfall rates could hit 3 to 4 inches per hour in some spots. The atmosphere to the south is priming. Winds at about 4,000 to 6,000 feet above ground, what meteorologists call the low-level jet, are already reaching interstate speeds 50 to 60 knots, screaming from south to north. This is pumping warm, moist air into the system like a fire hose. Sunday afternoon around 3 to 4 o'clock Central Time. This is when the line of thunderstorms starts to develop. It will stretch from about St. Louis all the way back towards Little Rock, Arkansas, and into northeastern Texas. At this point, scattered damaging winds are the primary concern, but the tornado risk is building. Any discrete supercells that fire out in front of the main line could produce strong to intense tornadoes. If you are in the Mississippi River Valley from Memphis towards Mayfield, Kentucky, this is your window to be on highest alert. Do not miss what comes next, because the worst part of Sunday has not even started yet. Sunday evening, 5 to 8 o'clock Central Time. This is when it gets dangerous. The line of thunderstorms stretches from East Texas near Longview all the way through eastern Missouri. A weaker line is also developing south and west of Chicago. Damaging winds of 60 to 80 miles per hour are expected to be widespread. The low-level jet is now screaming at 70 to 80 knots, well over interstate speed, about a mile above your head. This is mixing down to the surface through the storms, creating destructive wind gusts. Here is a critical detail. By about 6 to 7 o'clock, Chicago could be dealing with severe storms. And then within just a few hours, that area transitions to snow and freezing rain. The whiplash is going to be extreme. Sunday night, 9 to 11 o'clock Central Time, the line of thunderstorms actually strengthens instead of weakening. This is unusual and dangerous. Normally, storms lose energy after sunset, but this system has so much wind energy feeding it that the line intensifies. This is when the 45% wind risk area gets hit hardest, right where Illinois, Kentucky, Tennessee, Missouri, and Arkansas all come together. The wind gusts in this zone could be catastrophic. And embedded within this line, QLCS tornadoes, that stands for quasi-linear convective system, are expected. These are tornadoes that form within the line of storms itself. They can spin up with very little warning, and they are extremely difficult to see at night. I expect at least half a dozen to a dozen tornadoes from the line alone on Sunday night. But if any discrete supercells develop out ahead of the line, the count goes higher and the intensity goes up. This is why the Storm Prediction Center has that significance flag on the tornado outlook. After midnight, Sunday night into Monday morning, the line of storms pushes across Alabama, moving out of Mississippi. Behind the line, cold, dry air rushes in. Once you are behind it, you are in the clear. But ahead of it, the danger continues. And this is where I am most concerned about Alabama and Georgia. Supercells could develop in the panhandle of Florida, across Alabama, and into Georgia during the early morning hours. Storm fuel remains high, wind energy remains high, and the significant tornado parameter is spiking. If you are in this area, you need to be awake and alert between midnight and 6 in the morning Monday. I cannot stress this enough. Monday morning, 6 to 9 in the morning Eastern Time. The main line of storms is pushing into the Appalachian Mountains. Damaging winds and embedded tornadoes continue across eastern Ohio, western Pennsylvania, and along the mountain range. Meanwhile, a new area of concern is developing in the southeast. Supercells are forming across northern Florida, southern Georgia, and into South Carolina. These storms have rotation, and they are capable of producing strong tornadoes. Monday, midday to afternoon. This is where things get very interesting for the East Coast. The Storm Prediction Center has issued a Level 3 enhanced risk for Monday, stretching from South Carolina all the way up into Pennsylvania. A Level 2 slight risk extends from northern Pennsylvania down into Florida. The dynamics of this system are maxing out as the trough goes negative, which means the atmospheric energy peaks. Dew points in the 60s are stretching from the Georgia coastline through eastern South Carolina, eastern North Carolina, Virginia, and into the mid-Atlantic. Cape levels are spiking over 1,000 to 1,500 joules per kilogram with daytime heating. Here's what this means in plain English. The atmosphere on Monday afternoon across the Mid-Atlantic and Carolinas will be loaded with fuel and wind energy at the same time. This is the recipe for a significant tornado event. Storm chasers are going to be out in force across eastern North Carolina and Virginia on Monday. Supercells developing ahead of the main line could produce strong tornadoes, and the main line itself will continue to produce damaging winds and embedded tornadoes. If you are in New York City or southern New England, you could see severe weather by Monday afternoon and evening. Wind gusts of 40 to as much as 70 miles per hour are possible across the mid-Atlantic and Northeast, even without the severe thunderstorms. This is just from the raw wind energy in the system. The good news for Monday is that the severe weather should be mostly done by sunset. We are not looking at a second consecutive nocturnal tornado threat for the East Coast, but the daytime hours will be intense. Now let me go through the specific city-by-city timing so you know exactly when to be ready. This is what you have been waiting for. I am going to go region by region, starting with the Gulf Coast and Deep South. Houston, Texas. The line of storms approaches your area Sunday evening around 7 to 9 o'clock Central Time. Expect strong to severe storms with damaging wind gusts. The threat should move through relatively quickly. Shreveport, Louisiana. Severe storms arrive Sunday afternoon around 4 to 5 o'clock. You are in the enhanced risk zone. Damaging winds and isolated tornadoes are possible. Jackson, Mississippi. The line hits Sunday night around 9 to 11 o'clock. This will be a dangerous nocturnal event with embedded tornadoes possible. New Orleans, Louisiana. Severe storms push through Sunday night around 10 to midnight. Wind gusts could reach 60 miles per hour or higher. Mobile, Alabama. The threat increases after midnight Sunday into early Monday morning. This is a nocturnal tornado risk area. Birmingham, Alabama. You are in the danger zone. Storms arrive after midnight and continue through early Monday morning. Nocturnal tornadoes are a significant concern, have multiple ways to receive alerts. Montgomery, Alabama, same timing as Birmingham, midnight to 6 in the morning Monday. Stay alert. Tuscaloosa, Alabama, severe storms Sunday night through early Monday morning. You are in the overlap zone of high wind energy and high storm fuel. Moving to the Tennessee Valley and Ohio Valley. Memphis, Tennessee. Severe storms arrive Sunday evening around 6 to 8 o'clock Central Time. Watch for discrete supercells ahead of the main line. This could be where we see some of the strongest tornadoes on Sunday. Nashville, Tennessee. The line of storms approaches around 10 to midnight Sunday night. Damaging winds and embedded tornadoes are the primary threat. Behind the storms, temperatures crash and you could even see snow flurries by Monday. Knoxville, Tennessee. Storms arrive in the early morning hours Monday, roughly 2 to 5 in the morning. Chattanooga, Tennessee. Similar timing to Knoxville, overnight Sunday into early Monday. Louisville, Kentucky. Severe storms push through Sunday night around 11 o'clock to 1 in the morning Monday. Strong wind gusts and the potential for tornadoes. Lexington, Kentucky. Similar timing, late Sunday night into early Monday morning. Indianapolis, Indiana, you are right at the northern edge of the enhanced risk. Severe storms arrive Sunday evening around 7 to 9 o'clock. The transition from severe weather to snow and cold happens fast here. Cincinnati, Ohio, the line of storms arrives late Sunday night around midnight to 2 in the morning Monday. Damaging winds are the primary concern. Columbus, Ohio, storms arrive in the early morning hours Monday, roughly 2 to 4 in the morning. Cleveland, Ohio, the severe threat is lower, but you are in the wind zone. Expect gusty winds Monday morning and then rapidly falling temperatures. Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, the line arrives early Monday morning around 3 to 6 in the morning. Damaging winds are possible. Behind the storms, snow flurries and a sharp temperature drop. Akron and Canton, Ohio, same timing as Pittsburgh. Dayton, Ohio, late Sunday night around midnight to 2 in the morning. Toledo, Ohio, Sunday evening into early Monday morning with gusty winds and the potential for snow behind the cold front. Now for the Mid-Atlantic and Northeast. This is where Monday becomes the big story. Atlanta, Georgia, storms arrive Monday morning. Supercells are possible and the tornado threat is real. Dew points will be in the 60s with plenty of wind energy. The significant tornado parameter is high across this region. Stay weather aware from about 6 in the morning through noon. Macon, Georgia, similar timing to Atlanta, but the threat may arrive slightly earlier. Savannah, Georgia, Monday morning through early afternoon. Columbia, South Carolina, Monday morning through midday. You could see multiple rounds of storms. Charleston, South Carolina, Monday midday. Storms push through with damaging winds and the potential for tornadoes. Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, Monday afternoon. Watch for supercells coming off the Atlantic. Charlotte, North Carolina, Monday morning through early afternoon. You are in the enhanced risk zone. Damaging winds and tornadoes are both possible. Raleigh, North Carolina, Monday late morning through early afternoon. This is an area of particular concern for supercell development. The NAM model shows rotating storms across eastern North Carolina. Wilmington, North Carolina, Monday, midday to afternoon. Greensboro, North Carolina, Monday morning through early afternoon. Fayetteville, North Carolina, Monday late morning through midday. Richmond, Virginia, Monday afternoon, roughly 1 to 4 o'clock. The low-level jet is intense over the mid-Atlantic at this time. Winds several thousand feet up are moving at over 70 knots. The sky above you is going to be moving incredibly fast. Norfolk, Virginia, Monday afternoon. Washington, District of Columbia, Monday afternoon into early evening. Expect wind gusts of 40 to 60 miles per hour regardless of severe storms. If supercells develop, the tornado threat is present. Baltimore, Maryland, Monday afternoon. Wind gusts and possible severe storms. Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, Monday afternoon to early evening. Strong wind gusts of 40 to 60 miles per hour expected. Severe storms are possible. Trenton, New Jersey, similar timing to Philadelphia. Newark, New Jersey, Monday late afternoon to evening. New York City, severe weather could reach you by Monday afternoon into evening. Wind gusts of 40 to as much as 70 miles per hour. This would be unusual for March. Hartford, Connecticut, Monday evening. Boston, Massachusetts, the severe threat is lower, but gusty winds of 40 to 50 miles per hour are possible Monday evening. Providence, Rhode Island, Monday evening. Portland, Maine, the threat is minimal but windy conditions expected. Albany, New York, Monday afternoon to evening with gusty winds. Syracuse, New York, Monday with gusty winds and some snow possible behind the front. Buffalo, New York, a few inches of snow are expected as the cold air wraps around behind the system. Now, I promised you I would cover the winter storm, and this one is historic. Do not skip past this because if you are anywhere in the upper Midwest or Great Lakes, this is going to impact your life significantly. The northern side of this storm system is producing a major winter storm and blizzard. Blizzard warnings are already out for South Dakota through southern Minnesota. Winter storm warnings extend across Wisconsin and into Michigan, and the snowfall totals are jaw-dropping for mid-March. Let me start with the heaviest snow and work outward. Far northern Wisconsin near Wausau and into the upper peninsula of Michigan near Marquette. This is ground zero for the heaviest snow. We are talking about 2 to 3 feet widespread with isolated areas potentially reaching nearly 50 inches. Some spots in far northern Michigan could see 3 to 4 feet. That is not a typo. 3 to 4 feet of snow in the middle of March. The lake enhancement effect is adding tremendous amounts of snow as the system wraps around and pulls cold air over the relatively warm lake water. Green Bay, Wisconsin. You are looking at around 2 feet of snow, and before the snow kicks in, you are going to get some freezing rain that could leave a 1/4 inch of ice or more. That means power outages on top of the snow. The timeline for Green Bay is critical. You start with some light snow, then transition to freezing rain, then back to heavy snow enhanced by the lake effect. The heavy snow kicks in around the afternoon on Sunday and continues through the evening, potentially lasting well into Monday. Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Expect 6 to 7 inches of snow. This is trended slightly lower than earlier forecasts, but still significant. Minneapolis, Minnesota. You are in the bull SI for 1 to 18 inches of snow. Some areas of southern Minnesota could see 18 to 20 inches. The heavy snow begins Saturday night and continues through Sunday morning, with snowfall rates of 3 to 4 inches per hour possible at times. That is the kind of rate where you cannot keep up with a snowblower. South Dakota, particularly around Aberdeen, heavy snow building to around a foot. Blizzard conditions are expected with high winds reducing visibility to near zero. This is a life-threatening travel situation. Do not be on the roads. North Dakota and northern Nebraska, a couple of inches, but the wind is the bigger factor here. Des Moines, Iowa. 2 to 4 inches expected, possibly slightly more in northern parts of the state. Cedar Rapids could see around 6 inches with 9 inches possible in northeastern Iowa. Chicago, Illinois, this has been a wild forecast to track. Current expectations are equating to a few inches. But here is the crazy part. You could have severe thunderstorms with damaging winds around 6 to 7 in the evening and then be dealing with snow and freezing rain just a few hours later. The temperature swing will be dramatic. Peoria and Springfield, Illinois. 1 to 2 inches of snow behind the cold front. Indiana broadly. An inch or so of snow accumulation. Not a lot, but combined with the freezing temperatures that follow, road conditions will be dangerous. Ohio. 1/2 inch to 1 inch, mostly flurries, but it adds up on cold surfaces. Columbus, Cleveland, and Toledo will all see some accumulation. West Virginia. A couple of inches possible, particularly in the higher elevations. Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania could see 1 inch. Far northern Pennsylvania is where the heavier snow falls, a few inches. Western New York toward Buffalo and Syracuse, also a few inches. There is even a possibility of snow flurries as far south as Atlanta, Georgia, on late Monday night. Nashville could see a dusting. Kentucky could see light snow. This is just an extraordinary system. Now stay with me because the story does not end with the storm. What comes after is almost as impactful as the storm itself, and this is the part most people are going to overlook. After the storm passes, an Arctic blast is going to plunge temperatures across the eastern 2/3 of the country. Temperatures will drop by 40 to 50 degrees in some locations in less than 24 hours. Monday morning brings freezing temperatures and negative wind chills pushing as far south as the Gulf Coast. We are talking about wind chill values of -10 to -20 degrees across the upper Midwest, the Great Lakes, and the Ohio Valley on Monday and Tuesday. Even northern Florida could feel wind chills that are well below what is normal. This cold does not leave quickly either. Tuesday brings the freezing temperatures further east and south. The wind chills are brutal from the northern plains all the way to northern Florida. Wednesday, the cold continues to push into the eastern United States. This means if the storm knocked out your power, you could be sitting in a home with no heat for 2 to 3 days while temperatures are at or below freezing. This is why preparation matters. Here is what I need everyone to do right now if you are in any of these impact zones. First, charge every device you own. Phones, tablets, portable chargers, everything. If you lose power, your phone is your lifeline for weather alerts. Second, if you have a weather radio, test it now. Make sure the batteries are fresh. If you do not have one, download a weather alert app on your phone and make sure notifications are turned on and the volume is up, especially if you are in Alabama, Georgia, Tennessee, the Carolinas, or the Mid-Atlantic. Third, know where your safe place is. If a tornado warning is issued, you need to be in the lowest floor, most interior room of your home, away from windows. A bathroom or closet in the center of the house is ideal. Have shoes nearby because if your home is damaged, you do not want to be walking through debris barefoot. Fourth, if you have elderly neighbors or family members living alone, check on them, call them. Make sure they know this is coming. The combination of high winds, potential power outages, and then extreme cold is especially dangerous for older adults living alone. Fifth, have water and food that does not require cooking. If the power goes out and temperatures drop to the single digits, your pipes could freeze. Fill some containers with water now. Now let me circle back and give you the complete picture for every region because I know many of you are watching from areas I have not specifically mentioned yet. Let me cover the rest of the country. For the Pacific Northwest, Seattle, and Portland, you are not impacted by this particular storm system, but the pattern ahead brings some changes. After this massive system exits the East Coast, a high-pressure ridge builds over the western United States. This means warmer and drier conditions for the West by mid to late next week. For California, Sacramento, San Jose, San Francisco, Los Angeles, and San Diego. The heat dome building over the west is going to bring temperatures 15 to 30 degrees above normal by the 21st and 22nd. Phoenix, Arizona, and Las Vegas, Nevada are looking at potentially record-breaking heat. Phoenix could approach 100 degrees in March. That would be the earliest 100-degree reading on record. Las Vegas is looking at temperatures well into the 90s. Sacramento and San Jose are also in the zone for record-breaking March temperatures. If you are in the desert Southwest, please check on elderly neighbors and make sure you are staying hydrated. Going from a massive winter storm in the Midwest to potential record heat in the Southwest within the same week is the kind of extreme contrast that defines our weather patterns right now. For the Northern Plains, Bismarck, North Dakota, Fargo, North Dakota, you are on the periphery of the winter storm. A few inches of snow and strong winds, but not the extreme totals seen further south and east. Sioux Falls, South Dakota, you are closer to the action. Several inches of snow and blizzard conditions are possible. For the Southern Plains, Dallas, Texas, you are on the very southern fringe of the severe weather risk on Sunday. An isolated severe storm is possible, but the main threat stays north of you. Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. You could see some strong storms late Sunday, but the primary severe weather axis is east of you. Tulsa, Oklahoma, similar to Oklahoma City, on the western fringe of the action. Wichita, Kansas, not a major severe threat, but gusty winds are expected behind the cold front. Kansas City, Missouri, you are closer to the action. Severe storms are possible Sunday afternoon and evening with damaging winds. St. Louis, Missouri, right in the path. The line of thunderstorms develops near St. Louis on Sunday afternoon. Expect severe storms with damaging winds and the potential for tornadoes from about 4 o'clock Sunday afternoon through the evening. For the Midwest, Detroit, Michigan, gusty winds Sunday night into Monday. Some snow accumulation possible on the backside. Grand Rapids, Michigan, an inch or two of snow expected. Kalamazoo, Michigan, similar to Grand Rapids. Flint, Michigan, light snow accumulation around an inch. Lansing, Michigan, gusty winds and light snow. For the upper Midwest beyond what I already covered, Duluth, Minnesota, heavy snow expected, potentially over a foot. The blizzard conditions will make travel extremely dangerous. Eau Claire, Wisconsin, significant snow, potentially a foot or more. La Crosse, Wisconsin, several inches of snow with strong winds. Madison, Wisconsin, 4 to 6 inches of snow. The freezing rain line is critical here because if it shifts slightly, ice accumulation could cause power outages. For the Appalachian region, Charleston, West Virginia, a couple of inches of snow behind the cold front with strong winds. Roanoke, Virginia, wind gusts and rapidly falling temperatures Monday. Asheville, North Carolina. You are in an interesting spot. The severe weather pushes through Monday morning and then cold air wraps in behind it. A light dusting of snow is possible in the higher elevations. For Florida, Jacksonville, severe storms are possible Monday morning. The primary concern is damaging winds and an isolated tornado. Tampa, on the fringe of the severe weather risk. Strong storms are possible Sunday night into Monday. Orlando, marginal risk of severe weather on both Sunday and Monday. Gusty winds are the primary concern. Miami, you are south of the main action, but still watch for gusty winds and isolated storms. Fort Myers and Naples, similar to Miami, on the far southern fringe. Tallahassee, closer to the severe weather risk, particularly Monday morning. Pensacola, you are in the zone for severe storms Monday morning with damaging winds and a tornado risk. For New England, Burlington, Vermont, gusty winds Monday evening and some snow possible. Manchester, New Hampshire, windy conditions Monday afternoon and evening. Portland, Maine, breezy, but the severe threat is minimal. Springfield, Massachusetts, gusty winds Monday afternoon to evening. For the Mid-Atlantic specifically, Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, strong winds Monday. Potential for severe storms. Allentown, Pennsylvania, gusty winds Monday afternoon. Scranton, Pennsylvania, wind and a little snow possible behind the front. Wilmington, Delaware, gusty winds Monday afternoon with possible severe storms. For the upper Great Lakes, Marquette, Michigan, this is where the heaviest snow in the entire system falls. 3 feet is expected. Some isolated spots could approach 4 to 5 feet with lake enhancement. Travel will be impossible during the height of the storm. Sault Ste. Marie, Michigan, heavy snow, potentially 2 feet or more. Traverse City, Michigan, moderate snow accumulation with strong winds. For the Central Plains, Lincoln, Nebraska, Northern Nebraska picks up an inch or two. The bigger impact is wind. Omaha, Nebraska, similar to Lincoln. Gusty winds behind the cold front. Now, I want to address something important. I know storms like this can be alarming, the numbers are big, the risks are real, but I am not here to scare you. I am here to make sure you are informed so you can take the right steps. Severe weather happens every year in the United States. What makes this event notable is the size of the area impacted, the intensity of the wind energy driving it, and the fact that it is bringing both a severe weather outbreak and a blizzard simultaneously in mid-March. The people who get hurt in these events are overwhelmingly the people who were not prepared or who did not know it was coming. That is not going to be you. You are here. You are getting the information. Now act on it. Charge your devices. Test your weather radio. Know your safe spot. Check on your neighbors. Let me give you a quick recap of the key timing so you can plan your next 48 hours. Saturday evening tonight, heavy snow develops across Montana, Wyoming, South Dakota, and into Minnesota. If you are traveling in these areas, get where you need to go before dark. Overnight Saturday into Sunday. The winter storm intensifies rapidly. 3 to 4 inch per hour snowfall rates in northern Wisconsin and the upper peninsula of Michigan. Blizzard conditions develop. Sunday morning, heavy snow continues across Minneapolis, northern Wisconsin, and the upper peninsula. The severe weather setup is building to the south. Sunday afternoon, 3 to 5 o'clock Central Time. The line of severe thunderstorms develops from St. Louis through Little Rock and into northeastern Texas. Damaging winds and tornadoes begin. Sunday evening, 5 to 8 o'clock Central Time. The severe weather ramps up significantly. Widespread 60 to 80 mile per hour winds, embedded tornadoes. This is the peak danger window for the Mississippi and Ohio valleys. Chicago sees severe storms followed by a rapid transition to snow. Sunday night, 9 o'clock to midnight Central Time. The line strengthens. The 45% wind risk zone gets hit. Illinois, Kentucky, Tennessee, Missouri, Arkansas, Mississippi. Nocturnal tornadoes are a significant threat. After midnight, Sunday into Monday, the nocturnal tornado threat shifts to Alabama, Georgia, and the Tennessee Valley. This is the most dangerous overnight period. Supercells possible in the Florida Panhandle and southern Georgia Monday morning. The line pushes into the Appalachians. Severe weather continues in eastern Ohio and western Pennsylvania. A new severe weather threat develops across Florida, Georgia, and the Carolinas with supercells and tornadoes possible. Monday afternoon, the Mid-Atlantic and Northeast face severe weather. Washington, D.C., Baltimore, Philadelphia, New York City all could see damaging wind gusts. Supercells in eastern North Carolina and Virginia could produce strong tornadoes. This is when dynamics peak as the trough goes negative. Monday evening. Severe weather winds down across the East Coast by sunset. Gusty winds continue through the evening for New England. Cold air rushes in behind the system. Monday night into Tuesday. Arctic blast arrives. Temperatures plummet. Snow flurries possible as far south as Atlanta. Freezing temperatures push towards the Gulf Coast. Wind chills drop to -10 to -20 degrees across the upper Midwest and Great Lakes. Tuesday through Thursday. The cold persists across the eastern two-thirds of the country. If you lost power from the storm, this cold stretch makes the outage much more dangerous. Meanwhile, the West Coast begins to heat up dramatically. Thursday through the end of the week. Record-breaking heat builds across the desert Southwest. Phoenix approaching 100 degrees. The eastern United States slowly moderates but remains below normal. And here is the thing most people do not realize. This pattern is not done. The Arctic Oscillation data and the North Atlantic Oscillation are both signaling that another cold blast is coming at the end of March into early April. The polar vortex split that occurred earlier is still influencing the pattern. That means more snowstorms, more cold surges, and more severe weather are on the table as we head into late March. So if you think this is the last storm of the season, think again. Now here is what I need from you. Drop a comment below telling me what city and state you are in. I will be monitoring comments and providing updates as this system evolves. Weather models will continue to shift details over the next 12 to 24 hours, and I want to make sure you have the latest information for your specific area. Also, if you know someone in any of these affected areas, share this with them right now. Send them a text, share the link. The more people who are prepared, the fewer people who get caught off guard by a nighttime tornado or a sudden blizzard. Let me give you one more important detail before we wrap up. The fire threat. Yes, even in the middle of all this winter weather and severe storms, we have a critical fire risk. For Saturday and Sunday, there is a critical fire weather area across portions of the southern plains. Cities and states in this fire risk zone need to be aware that dry conditions combined with strong winds create a dangerous situation for grass fires and brush fires. This threat comes back again at the end of March when the next cold front pushes through. The wind alone from this system is going to create problems. We are expecting a second major windstorm right on the heels of the one that just knocked out power to over 1 million homes. The model shows 50 and 60 mile-per-hour wind gusts across a huge area on Saturday evening, from Idaho through Montana, Wyoming, northern Utah, Nevada, Colorado, and western Nebraska. The higher elevations could see 70 mile-per-hour gusts. Then overnight, Saturday into Sunday, another wave of destructive winds hits the central, eastern, northern, and southern United States. We are talking 50, 60, even 70 mile-per-hour gusts again. And behind that, more strong winds hit multiple states. This is a prolonged wind event, and it is going to cause additional power outages. For the Ohio Valley specifically, you just got hit with a major windstorm, and now another one is coming before you have even gotten your power fully restored. This is going to be a very challenging week for utility crews across a dozen states. There is also a freezing rain and ice component to this storm that I want to highlight. For Wisconsin, particularly around Wausau and Green Bay, and into northern Michigan, a quarter-inch or more of ice accumulation is possible before the precipitation transitions to snow. Ice is the silent power killer. It coats power lines and tree branches until they snap. Even a quarter-inch of ice can bring down trees and power lines across a wide area. Combined with the strong winds, this is a recipe for extended power outages. So here is your final checklist. If you are in the severe weather zone from the Gulf Coast through the Ohio Valley on Sunday, through the Southeast and Mid-Atlantic on Monday, have a tornado action plan. Know your safe room. Have a way to receive alerts at night. Do not rely on outdoor sirens. If you are in the winter storm zone from South Dakota through Minnesota, Wisconsin, and the Upper Peninsula of Michigan, do not travel. Blizzard conditions with near zero visibility and 3 to 4 feet of snow are life-threatening. Stock up on supplies for at least 3 days. If you are anywhere east of the Mississippi, prepare for the Arctic blast. Temperatures dropping 40 to 50 degrees in 24 hours means frozen pipes, dangerous wind chills, and heating systems working overtime. Protect your pipes. Check your heating fuel. If you are in the western United States, watch for the record-breaking heat building later in the week. Stay hydrated and check on elderly neighbors. This is one of those events where multiple weather hazards are happening simultaneously across a huge portion of the country. Tornadoes, blizzards, ice storms, windstorms, Arctic cold, and record heat, all in the same week. In March, I will be back with another update as conditions evolve. The models will sharpen the details, and I will bring you every change as it happens. And in the next video, I am going to break down the end of March pattern that is shaping up because the signals are showing another major storm system forming around the 25th through the 28th. The Arctic oscillation data is screaming that more cold is coming, and with it, another round of severe weather potential. You are not going to want to miss that breakdown. Now, before I let you go, I want to do something I rarely do. I want to walk you through exactly what this storm looks like from the perspective of someone living through it, because I think it helps you understand why preparation is not optional with this one. Imagine you are in Memphis, Tennessee on Sunday evening. It is about 6 o'clock. The sun is starting to set. You have been hearing about this storm all day, but honestly, the morning was fine. Maybe some clouds. You are thinking about dinner. Then you hear a low rumble in the distance. Within 30 minutes, the sky turns a strange shade of green and gray. The wind picks up from nothing to 30 miles per hour in under 10 minutes. Then the first gust hits, 50 miles per hour. Your trash cans go flying. A tree branch snaps in the neighbor's yard. The rain comes sideways so hard you cannot see across the street. And somewhere in that wall of wind and rain, a tornado is spinning up. You cannot see it. It is dark. It is wrapped in rain. The only warning you get is that alert on your phone, and you have maybe 5 to 10 minutes to get to your safe place. Now imagine that same scenario happening simultaneously in cities across 8 states. That is what Sunday night looks like. That is why I am spending this much time on this forecast. That is why I need you to take it seriously. Let me expand on the city-by-city breakdown even further, because I know people watching this are from every corner of this country and they need specific information. For Texas, Amarillo, you are well west of this system. No significant impacts expected. Lubbock, same story, you are in the clear. Midland, Odessa, no impacts from this particular system. El Paso, not affected. San Antonio, you are on the far southern fringe. A chance of gusty winds Sunday evening, but nothing severe is expected for your area. Austin, similar to San Antonio, but slightly higher odds of a gusty storm. Corpus Christi, minimal impact. Fort Worth, on the western edge, some gusty winds possible, but the main severe weather stays east of you. Beaumont and Port Arthur, you are closer to the action. Storms push through late Sunday night with gusty winds. For Louisiana, Baton Rouge, severe storms possible. Sunday night around 9 to 11 o'clock. Damaging winds and an isolated tornado cannot be ruled out. Lake Charles, storms arrive slightly earlier in the evening. Monroe, you are in the enhanced risk zone. Severe storms Sunday evening with damaging winds and tornado potential. Lafayette, storms push through Sunday night. Stay alert for embedded tornadoes. For Mississippi, Hattiesburg, severe storms Sunday night around 10 to midnight. Damaging winds likely. Meridian, similar timing. The line of storms moves through with 60 to 80 mile per hour gusts. Tupelo, storms arrive earlier in the evening Sunday around 7 to 9 o'clock. You are in the zone for some of the strongest winds. Columbus, Mississippi, severe storms Sunday evening into the night. For Arkansas, Little Rock, you are in the development zone. The line of thunderstorms forms near you Sunday afternoon around 4 to 5 o'clock and quickly intensifies. Damaging winds and tornado potential through the evening. Fort Smith, storms developing in the afternoon and pushing east through your area. Jonesboro, severe storms Sunday evening. Fayetteville, on the northern edge of the severe weather, but strong winds are expected. For Missouri, beyond St. Louis. Springfield, severe storms possible Sunday afternoon into the evening. The line develops west of you and pushes through. Joplin, you are on the southwestern flank. Storms arrive Sunday afternoon with damaging wind potential. Cape Girardeau, right in the path of the main line Sunday evening. This is where some of the strongest winds could be generated as the line congeals. For Illinois beyond Chicago, Rockford, severe storms Sunday evening around 5 to 7 o'clock. Transition to wintry mix later in the night. Champaign-Urbana, storms push through Sunday evening with damaging winds. The cold front brings snow flurries behind it. Carbondale, you are in the southern part of the state. Severe storms Sunday evening with strong wind gusts. Bloomington, normal, severe storms Sunday evening followed by a sharp temperature drop. For Kentucky, Bowling Green, severe storms Sunday night around 9 to 11 o'clock. Damaging winds and embedded tornadoes. Paducah, you are at the confluence of the Ohio and Tennessee valleys. Storms arrive Sunday evening, and this area could see some of the most intense winds in the entire event. Owensboro, similar timing to Paducah. Covington, late Sunday night around midnight to 2 in the morning Monday. For Georgia beyond Atlanta. Augusta, storms arrive Monday morning through midday. The tornado risk is elevated as supercells could develop in this area. Albany, Georgia, Monday morning. Severe storms with damaging winds. Columbus, Georgia, Monday morning. Valdosta, Monday morning. The proximity to the Florida border puts you in a zone where supercells could be particularly dangerous. For South Carolina, beyond what I mentioned, Greenville, Monday morning through early afternoon. Storms could be severe with damaging winds. Spartanburg, similar to Greenville. Florence, Monday morning to midday. You are in the zone for possible supercell development. Hilton Head, Monday midday to early afternoon. For North Carolina, Asheville, as I mentioned, Monday morning with possible light snow behind the front in the mountains. Winston-Salem, Monday morning through early afternoon. Severe storms with damaging winds. Durham, Monday late morning through early afternoon. Watch for rotating storms. Outer Banks, Monday afternoon. Strong winds regardless of severe storms. Coastal flooding could be an issue with the strong onshore flow. For Virginia beyond what I covered. Virginia Beach, Monday afternoon. Strong wind gusts and possible severe storms. Lynchburg, Monday afternoon. Danville, Monday morning through midday. Fredericksburg, Monday afternoon. Charlottesville, Monday afternoon. Winchester, Monday afternoon, with rapidly falling temperatures behind the front. For West Virginia. Huntington, early Monday morning around 2 to 4 o'clock. Strong wind gusts and possible snow behind the front. Morgantown, Monday morning. Wheeling, Monday morning. Parkersburg, Monday morning around 3 to 5 o'clock. For Pennsylvania beyond Pittsburgh and Philadelphia. Erie, Monday morning with snow on the backside. A few inches are possible. State College, Monday morning to early afternoon. Strong winds. Reading, Monday afternoon. Lancaster, Monday afternoon. York, Monday afternoon. Altoona, Monday morning with possible snow flurries. For New York beyond New York City and Buffalo. Rochester, Monday with gusty winds and some snow possible. Binghamton, Monday afternoon with wind and possible wintry mix. Utica, Monday afternoon to evening. Long Island, Monday afternoon to evening with strong wind gusts that could cause scattered power outages. For New Jersey, Atlantic City, Monday afternoon. Strong wind gusts. Cherry Hill, Monday afternoon. Gusty winds and possible severe storms. Toms River, Monday afternoon to evening. For Connecticut, Bridgeport, Monday evening. Gusty winds. New Haven, Monday evening. Stamford, Monday evening. For the upper Midwest, let me give you more detail on the blizzard. Appleton, Wisconsin. You are in a transition zone between the severe weather and the blizzard. Expect heavy snow in the range of 12 to 18 inches with strong winds creating blizzard conditions. Oshkosh, Wisconsin, similar to Appleton. Stevens Point, Wisconsin, heavy snow approaching 2 feet possible. Rhinelander, Wisconsin, some of the heaviest snow in the state, over 2 feet. Superior, Wisconsin, heavy snow and dangerous winds. St. Cloud, Minnesota. Over a foot of snow expected. Rochester, Minnesota, 8 to 12 inches. Mankato, Minnesota, 10 to 15 inches. Winona, Minnesota, 6 to 10 inches, but the wind will make it feel much worse. Waterloo, Iowa, 4 to 6 inches. Dubuque, Iowa, 6 to 8 inches. Mason City, Iowa, 5 to 8 inches. Sioux City, Iowa, 4 to 6 inches. For the Dakotas. Pierre, South Dakota. Blizzard conditions with moderate snow totals but high winds creating whiteout conditions. Rapid City, South Dakota. A few inches of snow, but the wind is the bigger story. Minot, North Dakota, a couple of inches with gusty winds. Now let me circle back to something I mentioned earlier that I want to make sure you caught. The freezing rain and ice. This is a hidden danger within this storm that does not get enough attention. The freezing rain line, the boundary between where precipitation falls as rain versus where it freezes on contact, is going to set up across central Wisconsin and northern Michigan. Wherever this line sits for an extended period, ice accumulates. A quarter inch of ice does not sound like much, but here is what it does. It coats every surface, every tree branch, every power line, every road. Tree branches that have been holding up snow all winter suddenly have an extra layer of ice and they break. Power lines sag and snap. Roads become sheets of glass. And this is happening in areas that are also getting strong winds. So the ice-laden branches and power lines are getting shaken and whipped at the same time. If you are in the zone from Wausau to Green Bay to Marquette, you face a triple threat. Freezing rain, followed by heavy snow on top of high winds. The power outages from this storm in that zone could last 3 to 5 days. And with the Arctic blast coming right behind it, extended power outages in these areas become a genuine safety emergency. If you rely on electric heat and you lose power for 3 days while temperatures are in the single digits or below zero, that is a life-threatening situation. This is why I keep stressing preparation. This is not about fear. This is about being smart. The information I am giving you right now could genuinely save your life or the life of someone you know. Use it. Let me give you one more layer of detail on the temperature crash because the numbers are striking. Sunday morning in many of these areas, temperatures are in the 50s and 60s. By Monday morning, they are in the teens and 20s. In some places, the temperature drops 60 degrees in 18 hours. St. Louis could go from the upper 50s to the low teens, Nashville from the mid-60s to the 20s, Indianapolis from the mid-50s to the single digits when you factor in wind chill. Chicago from the 40s to below zero wind chills. This kind of temperature crash stresses infrastructure, people, and animals. Outdoor pets need to be brought inside, exposed pipes need to be protected. Your car needs a full tank of gas in case you get stranded. And here is the long-range signal I want to leave you with. After this cold blast, the pattern flips briefly. A massive heat dome builds over the western United States from about the 20th through the 22nd. Temperatures 15 to 30 degrees above normal from Texas to Oklahoma all the way across to Nevada, Wyoming, and the California Central Valley. Phoenix, Las Vegas, Sacramento, and San Jose are all looking at potential all-time high records for the month of March. Las Vegas in the upper 90s, Phoenix approaching or exceeding 100 degrees. These would be the earliest triple-digit readings in recorded history for those locations. But then, and this is the part that should keep you paying attention, the pattern flips right back. The Arctic oscillation data shows another plunge coming at the end of March. The North Atlantic Oscillation shows another blocking pattern setting up over the Atlantic, which funnels cold air southward across the central and eastern United States. This means another big windstorm, another potential snowstorm, and another round of cold air and severe weather as we transition into late March and the first week of April. The polar vortex split that happened earlier this winter is still sending ripple effects through the atmosphere. This pattern is not done with us yet. So if you are thinking this weekend's storm is the last blast of winter, I need you to adjust that thinking. We have at least one more major system coming before this pattern relaxes, and when it does come, I will have it covered right here. That is why the next video is going to be critical. I am going to break down the end of March pattern in detail, show you which areas are most at risk for the next storm, and give you the extended range outlook into April. You are going to want to see that. For now, here is what matters. The next 48 hours are going to be intense for a huge portion of the United States. Tens of millions of people will be impacted by severe weather, blizzard conditions, ice, extreme winds, or the Arctic blast that follows. But you now have the information you need to protect yourself and your family. Drop your city in the comments so I can give you specific updates as the models refine. Share this with someone who lives in any of the affected areas. Check on your neighbors, especially the elderly and anyone living alone. Charge your phones. Test your weather radios. Know your safe spot. Fill your gas tank. Bring your pets inside. This storm is powerful, but you are prepared. I will see you in the next update, and remember, that end of March system is looking serious. Do not miss that breakdown. Stay safe out there. But wait, before you go, let me add a few more cities that I know people have been asking about. I want to make sure nobody gets left out of this forecast. For the Florida Panhandle specifically, Panama City, Monday morning. Supercells are possible as the line pushes through. The warm, moist air off the Gulf provides exceptional fuel for rotating storms. Destin, Monday morning. Gusty winds and the potential for an isolated tornado. Gainesville, Monday morning to midday. The line of storms weakens somewhat as it pushes through central Florida, but damaging winds remain a threat. For Alabama cities I have not yet covered. Huntsville, severe storms, Sunday night through early Monday morning. This is the northern Alabama nocturnal tornado threat area. The significant tornado parameter is elevated here. Florence, Alabama, Sunday night. Dothan, Alabama, Monday morning. Anniston, Alabama, Monday morning. For the Upper Peninsula of Michigan in detail, Iron Mountain, heavy snow exceeding 2 feet. Escanaba, heavy snow around 18 to 24 inches. Houghton, heavy snow with lake effect enhancement pushing totals well above 2 feet. Ironwood, heavy snow with blizzard conditions. These communities in the Upper Peninsula are accustomed to heavy snow, but even by their standards, 3 feet in a single system in mid-March is exceptional. For Minnesota cities beyond Minneapolis. Brainerd, over a foot of snow expected. Bemidji, moderate snow with strong winds. Alexandria, 8 to 12 inches. Wilmar, 6 to 10 inches. Marshall, 6 to 8 inches. These communities should prepare for at least 2 days of difficult to impossible travel conditions. For Wisconsin cities in the heaviest snow band, Marshfield, 18 to 24 inches. Antigo, over 2 feet. Merrill, over 2 feet. Shawano, 12 to 18 inches. Fond du Lac, 8 to 12 inches, Janesville, 4 to 6 inches, Kenosha, 3 to 5 inches, Racine, 3 to 5 inches. Now, I want to address something that always comes up when I put out a forecast like this. Some people will say I am being dramatic. Some people will say the models always overperform these events. Let me set the record straight. Every single weather model, the NAM, the GFS, the European, the HRRR, and the Canadian, they all agree on the broad strokes of this system. A severe weather outbreak, a major blizzard, and an Arctic blast. The details like exact snowfall totals and exact tornado locations will shift. That is the nature of forecasting. But the overall event is locked in. This is happening. The windstorm alone is enough to cause widespread damage and power outages. The last windstorm knocked out power to 1.2 million homes. This one has comparable or stronger winds over a larger area and a longer duration. Add in the tornadoes, the blizzard, the freezing rain, and the Arctic blast, and you have one of the most impactful weather weeks of 2025 so far. I also want to give some specific guidance for people with medical needs. If you depend on electricity for medical equipment, a CPAP machine, an oxygen concentrator, a home dialysis machine, anything like that, you need a backup plan now. Contact your local utility company and let them know you are a priority reconnection customer. Have a backup power source if possible. Know where the nearest emergency shelter is. If you lose power and temperatures drop into the single digits, do not tough it out. Get to a warm location. Hypothermia can set in faster than most people realize, especially for older adults. For pet owners, this is important. Outdoor pets must be brought inside before the storm arrives. Even pets that are used to cold weather cannot safely handle the combination of high winds, precipitation, and the Arctic blast that follows. Make sure you have enough food and water for your animals for at least 3 days. If you have livestock, make sure water sources are protected from freezing and that animals have adequate shelter from the wind. For drivers, if you are in the blizzard zone from South Dakota through Minnesota, Wisconsin, and the Upper Peninsula, do not travel on Sunday or Monday. Period. Zero visibility, 3 to 4 feet of snow, and winds gusting over 50 miles per hour means your vehicle could get stuck within minutes and nobody is coming to find you until the storm passes. If you absolutely must travel, keep a winter survival kit in your vehicle. Blankets, water, food, a flashlight, a fully charged phone, and a way to signal for help. If you are in the severe weather zone, avoid driving during the peak threat hours. On Sunday, that means late afternoon through the overnight hours across the Midwest, Tennessee Valley, and Deep South. On Monday, that means morning through the afternoon across the Southeast, Mid-Atlantic, and Northeast. A car is one of the worst places to be during a tornado. If you see a tornado while driving, get out of your vehicle and get into a sturdy building. If no building is available, lie flat in the lowest area you can find and cover your head. One more thing about the fire risk. I mentioned this earlier, but I want to circle back because it is important. The critical fire weather area for Saturday and Sunday is across portions of the southern plains from parts of Texas and Oklahoma. The prefrontal winds ahead of this system are strong and the air is dry. If a fire starts in these conditions, it can spread extremely rapidly. If you are in this area, do not burn debris, do not throw cigarette butts out of your car and report any smoke immediately. We have seen catastrophic wildfires in the southern plains from situations exactly like this. Now let me give you the complete temperature forecast for the week ahead so you can plan. Monday. Behind the cold front, temperatures crash across the central and eastern United States. Highs in the teens and 20s for the upper Midwest. Highs in the 20s and 30s for the Ohio Valley and Tennessee Valley. Wind chills making it feel like -10 to -20 in Minnesota, Wisconsin, Iowa, and the Dakotas. Even the Gulf Coast could see temperatures dipping to near freezing Monday night, Tuesday. The cold deepens across the eastern United States. Highs in the teens and 20s continue from the Great Lakes to the Ohio Valley. The Mid-Atlantic and Northeast see highs in the 20s and 30s. Northern Florida could see lows in the mid-30s. Wind chills of -10 to -15 persist across the upper Midwest. Wednesday. The cold air reaches its furthest south and east extent. Wind chills from the northern plains all the way to northern Florida. Highs still below average for most of the eastern two-thirds of the country. Meanwhile, the West Coast starts warming rapidly as the heat dome builds. Thursday and Friday, the West is on fire with heat. Phoenix could hit 100 degrees. Las Vegas in the upper 90s. Palm Springs could be near 105. Sacramento in the mid to upper 80s. Meanwhile, the eastern United States starts to slowly moderate but remains below normal. The weekend after this one. This is where it gets interesting again. The heat dome over the West begins to break down as the next trough develops over the Rockies. The central United States gets caught in the transition zone, and by the 25th to 28th, another significant storm system is likely. The details on that system are still weeks away from being clear, but the atmospheric pattern strongly supports it happening. When I have more details, I will bring them to you immediately. So that is the complete picture. A severe weather outbreak with tornadoes and destructive winds on Sunday and Monday. A historic March blizzard with 2 to 3 feet of snow across the upper Midwest. An ice storm across central Wisconsin and northern Michigan. A second consecutive major windstorm affecting a dozen or more states. An Arctic blast dropping temperatures 40 to 50 degrees in less than 24 hours. Potential record-breaking heat in the desert Southwest by the end of the week. And signals for another major storm at the end of March. This is weather at its most extreme. Multiple hazards, multiple regions, all happening at once. But you are informed. You know what is coming. You know when it is coming, and you know what to do. Drop your city in the comments. Share this with someone you care about. Make sure your phone is charged, and above all, stay safe this weekend. This is a dangerous weather pattern, but you have the information you need to get through it. I will see you in the next update. And one final section that I think is worth your time. Let me walk you through what emergency management professionals call the golden hour of storm preparation. This is the last 60 minutes before a storm hits your area, and what you do during that window can make all the difference. 60 minutes out. Check the latest radar and warnings on your weather app. Confirm the storms are still heading your way and note the estimated arrival time. Bring anything loose inside, patio furniture, trash cans, hanging plants, decorations. These become projectiles in 70-mile-per-hour winds. 45 minutes out. Charge your phone to maximum. Unplug sensitive electronics to protect them from power surges. Fill your bathtub with water in case you lose water pressure. This water can be used for flushing toilets and basic sanitation. Locate your flashlights and make sure they work. 30 minutes out. Move everyone in the household to the interior of the home. If you are in the tornado risk area, identify your safe room now. Grab shoes and put them near your safe room. Have a bike helmet or other head protection available for everyone in the house. This sounds extreme, but flying debris during a tornado is the #1 cause of injury and death, and a helmet protects your head. 15 minutes out. Turn on your weather radio or app alerts to full volume. If you have elderly family members or small children, get them to the safe room now. Do not wait for the actual warning. Put on sturdy shoes, have a blanket or mattress ready to pull over you in the safe room. 5 minutes out, or when the warning sounds, get to your safe room immediately. Do not go outside to look at the storm. Do not stand by windows. Crouch down, cover your head, and wait for the storm to pass. If you are in a mobile home, get out and go to a sturdy building or community shelter. Mobile homes offer virtually no protection from a tornado, even a weak one, after the storm passes. Do not go outside immediately. Wait at least 10 minutes to make sure the immediate threat has passed. When you do go outside, watch for downed power lines. Assume every downed line is live and deadly. Do not drive through standing water. Even 6 inches of moving water can knock you off your feet. 12 inches can carry away a vehicle. Check on your neighbors. Call elderly family members and friends to make sure they are okay. I cannot stress enough how important these simple steps are. Every year in the United States, hundreds of people are killed by severe weather. The vast majority of those deaths are preventable with basic awareness and preparation. You are watching this right now, which means you are already ahead of most people. Now take that knowledge and act on it. For those of you who are first responders, utility workers, emergency managers, or anyone who works in public safety, I know you are already gearing up for a very long weekend. Thank you for what you do. The rest of us will never fully appreciate the sacrifice you make to keep communities safe during events like this. Please stay safe yourselves. For teachers and school administrators in affected areas, check your school closure policies now. Monday morning could be a very dangerous time for buses on the road, particularly in the blizzard zone across the upper Midwest and in the severe weather zone across the Southeast. Many school districts will be making closure decisions Sunday evening. If your school does not have a clear policy for weather emergencies, now is the time to advocate for one. For business owners, if your employees work in any of the affected areas, consider flexible schedules for Monday. Nobody should have to choose between their safety and their job. A few hours of missed work is nothing compared to someone getting caught in a tornado or stranded in a blizzard. I know I have covered an enormous amount of information in this forecast. Let me leave you with the single most important takeaway. Know your risk and have a plan. If you are in the severe weather zone, that means tornado safety. If you are in the blizzard zone, that means staying off the roads and having supplies. If you are in the wind zone, that means securing loose objects and preparing for power outages. If you are anywhere east of the Mississippi, that means preparing for a dramatic temperature drop. You now know more about this storm system than 99% of Americans. Use that knowledge wisely. Protect yourself, protect your family, protect your neighbors. Drop your location in the comments below. I will be monitoring them all weekend and providing personalized updates as conditions change. And make sure you come back for the